To all the non-believers, I'm making.
What's up, y'all? This is Jay Varsity, and welcome to episode 62 of NBA Talk Finals Edition. I know this reaction is a little late. I've had things to do. If these reactions come late, it's out of my control. I try to do these as fast as I can, but life throws obstacles at you. But yeah, let's go straight to the case. I'm reacting to Game 2 of the NBA Finals between the Golden State Warriors and the Toronto Raptors. And from what I saw, this game it started off at a high pace. Toronto was continuing the momentum from Game 1. They were being aggressive, especially on the defensive end. They were being somewhat aggressive on the offensive end, even though in this game I have one criticism about their offense, but let me get to that in a little bit. The Golden State Warriors, Klay Thompson came out more aggressive, taking more shots, making more mid-range shots, making threes. We thought we was about to see a Game 6 Klay all over again, but that didn't turn out to be the case. And Steph Curry, he started out a little slow. And to me, it was like Steph Curry, he looked a little, he was like a little last night. I'm not going to say he was sick. Like, we're not about to pull a Michael Jordan flu game for Steph Curry, but nah, I'm not going to go that far. But, like, obviously he didn't look right somehow, some way. I don't think he was sick, but he might have just looked just a little bit exhausted. And that's what I'm going to say. I'm not going to go that far. But the officiating for this game, yes, I'm going to go into officiating. This is the one thing that really turned my stomach when I saw this. And I hope the NBA at some point takes a look at this, and it's when shooters forcibly try to create contact. And it was this one play, these two plays in particular, and they both involve Steph Curry. It was, he beats his defender on a fast break, and then he stops at the three-point line. And when I say he stuck his butt out, like literally stuck his butt out to his defender, and attempts to what somewhat looks like a jump shot, and then he goes to the free throw line. I'm literally looking at the TV like, how does he get the benefit and get the free throw when the defender is just trying to make it back to defend him? Like, that is absolutely not fair. Like, the defender is bad enough that he gets beat by you, and then you stop in front of him, and then you stick your butt out, and is like, what is wrong with you? And then you're trying to defend him. How do you defend that? How do you defend that? And there was another play, I believe it was in the second or third quarter, correct me if I'm wrong, that Steph did the same thing to Pascal Siakam. And it was like, Pascal, he gets beat, he gets beat, then he tries to catch up with Steph. Steph waits until he's right behind him, and then he jumps into him, and he's getting free throws. Like, I don't understand. How is the league needs to look into that and decide whether that should be a no call or an offensive foul. I would lean more towards a no call because, if it's an offensive foul, I'm expecting, like, you completely threw yourself on him, but then I was leaning more towards a no call. I mean, I don't think you should be benefited by getting free throws by trying to exaggeratingly create contact. And I know you're gonna say James Harden did that all season and all that, but I'm talking in general, not just because Steph Curry did it. Like, shooters in general should not be able to do that. Like, it's hard enough to try to defend some of these shooters in this league, but when they try to forcibly create contact, it's just absolutely ridiculous how the referees just they're like obligated to blow the whistle because the shooters, they need their space to land and all this other stuff. But it's like, how do you give them space if they're literally trying to jump towards the defender? How do you do that? Like, I really don't know. Like, I really don't know how you do that. And it's just beyond me. And then some of the calls made against the Raptors were just absolutely ridiculous. Like that Pascal Siakam, that supposed reaching call on Steph Curry that was all ball. That was all ball. I mean, come on. and Kyle Lowry trying to take charges and he's getting called for blocking fouls. Like, come on, man. I really don't. I really didn't understand some of these calls, but Toronto still maintained the lead in the first half. All the lead should have been bigger than 5. I mean, you're talking about Golden State. Like, you should have had at least a 14-point lead going into halftime. It should have at least, but it is what it is. And then you go into the third quarter, and Golden State goes on an 18-0 run. Golden State goes on an 18-0 run. And during that run, this is what I got to criticize about the Raptors. Why on earth were the Toronto Raptors shooting so many damn threes? Like this is not a 3-point shooting team. You are not the Houston Rockets. You get down and gritty. I should not see so many 3-point attempts from the Toronto Raptors. That is not who they are. That is not what they did in game 1. That is not what they should be. That is not what they should have been doing in game 2. I don't understand why were they doing that? Why were they shooting so many threes? Pascal Siakam shooting crazy threes. Fred VanVleet shooting crazy threes. I don't understand. You're not that kind of team. Get down in the paint and score by 2s. If that's what you have to do, then do it. Don't just settle for 3s. That's what Golden State wants you to do because they know you're not that kind of team. But anyway, all in all, they still managed to maintain the storm that Golden State was putting up, and they managed to cut the lead down to 5. Then the fourth quarter, it was like Klay Thompson hurt his hamstring, and he might be questionable for Game 3. Oh, another injury update: Kevon Looney. He is done for the series because he fractured his collarbone. He fractured his collarbone in Game 2. So Kevon Looney is done for the series. So that's one less center that Golden State has. So now I believe they're down to Boogie and Andrew Bogut. And oh yeah, they might as well add Jordan Bell to that because he occasionally plays the 5. But the fourth quarter comes, and Toronto, at one point, does cut the game down. And when Klay goes out, the Toronto Raptors started playing this box 1 defense, and it was a little bit odd because it was like almost they were almost sending 3 guys to just go after Steph, and then 2 guys were trying to guard 3 people. Like, it wasn't a 2-3 zone, but it was more like a trap defense. And it was a little weird, and somewhat it was effective for 5 minutes because Golden State couldn't score for 5 minutes. Like, it was odd, it was risky, and I was honestly questioning like how Golden State was struggling with that defense. And it was getting to the point where Steph looked kind of frustrated, and then they had to depend on the others like Draymond, Boogie, Iguodala, and Sean Livingston to make the plays. And Kawhi was going to the line, and Fred VanVleet was making key shots. And then Kyle Lowry got that ridiculous 6 foul call. Come on, bro. Like, come on. Like, Kyle Lowry should not have had so many fouls. Like, some of those fouls were absolutely ridiculous. I think Kyle Lowry should have at least had a good maybe 4 fouls. A good maybe 4 fouls. Like, I don't think he should have got all 6. I don't think all 6 of those fouls were legit. I don't think so whatsoever. But the Raptors did cut it down. They did cut it down to what was it, a 4-point game, I believe. I think Golden State turned it over, and then I think they scored another. I think they scored another 3. I think they scored a 3-pointer. Yeah, I think they shot a 3-pointer. Yeah, and I believe they were down by 5 again. And then after Danny Green makes that 3-pointer to cut it down to 2, Golden State nearly. This is how close the game got. That once again, Toronto does that box one defense, and Steph nearly turns the ball over. And this is the craziest part. Kawhi Leonard has the biggest hands in the league. The fact that the ball just slipped out of Kawhi Leonard's hands and got into Sean Livingston's hands, and it goes to a wide open Iguodala. I would never in my right mind actually think that Andre Iguodala is going to hit that shot. He takes the shot, and it was like, the odds of that shot for me are low because I would rather have Iguodala take it than Steph. But to our very eyes, the shot goes in, and it was like, damn, the shot, and it just goes in, and that was the dagger. That Iguodala 3 is a dagger, but let me tell you something. I will live with Andre Iguodala making that shot than Steph or Klay taking it, because you know it's going to go in with either one of those two. But if you had 10 chances and you had Andre Iguodala taking that shot, he has one time to make it out of 10 times. And to me, it was live or die with Andre Iguodala taking the 3. But anyway, yeah, the series is tied. We still are not aware if Kevin Durant is even able to practice. He might be available for Game 4. And yeah, like I said, the loss of Kevon Looney. We don't know if Klay Thompson's going to play Game 3. Toronto, I wouldn't be discouraged because the fact that you basically just lost off of Andre Iguodala 3, and you managed to come back and you kept Golden State on their toes. I would come into Game 3 more aggressive. Stop taking so many threes. I wouldn't try that box one defense again, but just maintain your composure. And Golden State, they're gonna try to ride this momentum into Game 3, even though they're getting really, really banged up in this run. But anyway, that's it. That's all. Like, comment, subscribe if you like basketball content. This is your boy Jay Varsity, and I am out. Peace.
We got some non-believers out there.
Make believers out of non-believers. Make believers out the overseers.